That's the MO. I would add one final thing, and then we'll move on. Here's the biggest play. In the end, where all of this is headed is JD Vance for president in 2028. That is the lead which they have buried. As quickly as they got JD Vance in the vice presidency nomination last year, they want to get him in the Oval Office in 2028. They want to make him the president. Why? Who knows? But there are powerful, powerful forces in Silicon Valley, billionaires, the GOP, all the king's men that want to make JD Vance the president. And I have identified myself very early on as an opponent of JD Vance. And for that, they want to bury me. For that, they want to kill me. Because I'm telling a lot of young men that Vance is going to need in the election, I'm telling a lot of young men, do not trust this guy because this guy is a creep. We don't know who he is. We don't know what his real name is. We don't know what his real job is. We don't know who he owes, who blackmailed him, who he works for. We just don't know anything about this guy, and it's weird. Mm-hmm. It's weird. He's weird. His family's weird. It's weird that they're all promoting him.
The thing about JD Vance as well is he's clearly a grifter. I mean, there's that video of him sort of dissing Donald Trump, which came out a couple of years ago. Yeah, definitely not someone that I would trust, and I think Nick is 100% right on JD Vance.
Something is not right here. And that much is obvious. Everybody with eyes can see that something is off about that. And that's the biggest thing. And I believe it when I say this, that if I were going out on the show every night and saying, let's all be good team players and let's all vote for JD Vance in 28, they would tolerate me. Trust me when I tell you that if I were going out every day on the show and saying, let's all be good little Republicans and let's dutifully vote for JD Vance, you know they would tolerate me. They would tolerate my...
You'd see JD Vance on the fucking Nick Fuentes show.
They would tolerate my extremism. They would tolerate all of it. They would bring me in under their wing as a junior partner. They would pat me on the head. They would give me opportunities if I was willing to play ball, if I was willing to horse trade, if I was willing to say, vote for JD. Everybody, we got to be all in. But they are clearing the runway. They have created a media ecosystem using comedians, using podcasts, using conventions, using things like Turning Point. They have created a runway. And they have cleared the runway for Vance to be unopposed in 28, to raise $1 billion, and then to be the next president, to inherit all the machinery that Trump created, all this stuff that Trump has done with the executive branch, all the rules Trump has broken. They want JD Vance to inherit that. You want to know why? It's the same reason Elon Musk was brought into this administration. Elon Musk brought in Doge in the beginning of the year. They cut no waste, fraud, or abuse. They didn't cut any spending. But you know what they did do? Elon Musk made all the hiring decisions in the Pentagon. Elon Musk and the Silicon Valley people, they made all the decisions about hiring and firing in the Department of War. Why does that matter? Because the Department of War is going to determine who gets the military contracts when the military embraces AI, when the military embraces unmanned aircraft, boats, vehicles.
Always comes down to money, doesn't it? Always comes down to money. It was to expose, the wastage and all the fraud and stuff that was going on. No, it was so Elon could help his buddies out and make money.
Who is going to build the fleet of unmanned ships? Who is going to build the fleet of unmanned aircraft, of drones? Who is going to handle AI for the military? It will be those people that were brought in because of Elon's money, because of David Sacks' fundraiser, brokered by Vance. They will be making those decisions. Like, for example, they're going to bring in Anduril, Palmer Luckey's company, funded by Thiel. Vance actually brokered the deal for venture capital to invest in Anduril. Vance's position at Mithril, Peter Thiel's venture capital firm, allowed Vance to funnel money into Palmer Luckey's Anduril. Where is Anduril building their drone factory? In Ohio. In Ohio, where JD Vance is from, where Les Wexner did a fundraiser for Vance to make him the senator. And now that Vance left his Senate seat, they arranged for the lieutenant governor of Ohio to fill that Senate seat, so he would be taken out of the running for Ohio governor, and Trump would endorse Vivek Ramaswamy. So that when Ramaswamy becomes governor of Ohio, they will be favorable to Palmer Luckey's Anduril plant, and his people in the Pentagon will buy his drones and whatever. That's a taste. That's a taste of what you can expect when Vance becomes president. It's a taste. And when Elon dragged his people through all the different government departments and agencies to cut waste, fraud, and abuse, they didn't do a lot of cutting, but you know what they did bring in? They brought in Palantir. How are we going to cut the waste, fraud, and abuse? We have to take all the data from the Social Security Administration, from the Treasury Department, from the Education Department. We have to plug it into our AI software so that we can evaluate where the waste, fraud, and abuse is. Well, they didn't cut $2 trillion or even $1 trillion in spending as promised, but you know what they did do? They got 4 more departments and agencies onto Palantir software. And they are the Social Security Administration, they are Health and Human Services, they are the Treasury Department, and the Department of Education. What a coincidence. Because Elon Musk was at PayPal, like Peter Thiel. It's all the same people. Andreessen Horowitz, Oracle, PayPal, Palantir, these are all the same people working for all the same investors, working for all the same founders. And they were all at the same fundraiser, and they all gave their money to this administration. And there it is.
Yeah, Nick is spot on. I mean, it's just nice that someone is able to expose and hopefully educate some people who didn't know about this, about just how scary and it would be, and just how dodgy JD Vance seems to be. I mean, whoever the elites are, whatever you believe, it does seem that they are trying to get him elected without a doubt. That seems, I mean, I'd be surprised if he doesn't get elected in 2028. It'd be interesting to see if all of this that Nick is predicting is coming true. I mean, a lot of it is already true. But yeah, as the US military adapts AI, how that will come into play. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, stay based. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.